Hi, everyone. Welcome back to All Kinds of Advice podcast. For today's episode, we are going to be talking about Jay-Z in regards to his recent speech that he did at the Grammys. Well, we will be uncovering, aspects of the speech, not the entire speech. Woo, child. Jay-Z came to shut down the house. Woo! I was so shocked. Like, I was watching the Grammys, and then when he started speaking, like, my mouth just opened so wide. I was so shocked. But I commend, him on his speech. But before I go into it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Let's keep it growing and flowing. So, how many of you watched the Grammys? Like, I know you guys were shocked when Jay Z started speaking because, like, Jay Z and Beyonce, they've been like super super quiet over the years. I think like Beyonce, sort of mold Jay Z, to sort of like keep things quiet, keep his feelings to himself because that's like her whole image and her brand. So Jay Z started talking, he pretty much got an award as well. I think it's called an Icon Award, and Jay Z started doing his speech, and like Blue Ivy was on the stage with him, and Jay Z said like he started saying things like this young lady, which he was talking about, Beyonce has gotten like so many awards. I think she has the most awards, but she's never won like album of the year award. And then he was just kind of like food for thought, like saying like, how does she have so much awards, but doesn't have album of the year? I personally agree with him because I feel like she has had so many amazing albums. Like Lemonade is like one of my favorite. I felt like she put her heart and soul into that, and we've seen like a lot of her personal life in that song. That song pretty much indicated like Jay-Z cheated on her, and like I felt like she poured her heart and soul into that album. And I was kind of like shocked when Adele won album of the year. Even Adele was shocked that she won over Lemonade. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of people were thinking like they keep playing in women of colors faces, or just people of color in general, when they don't give us the accolades that we deserve. And so he just pretty much said that, like, how does that make sense? Like, get it right. Like, why is she not winning? You know what I'm saying? And but his speech didn't just focus on just calling out the Grammys. Imagine calling out the Grammys at the Grammys. Like, that's, he's brave to have to do that, and I do commend him on that. Like, I don't feel like Beyonce will ever even do that. So it's good that Jay-Z stood up for her and said that. But Jay-Z's speech came with a lot of criticism. Like, a lot of people are like, they feel like Beyonce does not deserve album of the year. They feel like, yes, she had a few good songs on some of her albums, but the entire album was not a bob, especially as it relates to Lemonade. So they felt like, why is he trying to coerce like the Grammys to vote for his wife to get album of the year? Like, it should be something that's given. But I heard like no one has won that award. Like it's been like 20 something or 30 years since someone won that particular category. So kind of like look at it in a kind of way like, is this purposeful, or has no black artist made an album that was worthy of the award? Like, something for you guys to think about. And then Beyonce is sitting there, she's clapping, and she's just like, this man just go talk shit now. And this, how is this going to affect my brand? Like, I know deep down she probably wasn't too happy, but it had to be said. Like, enough is enough. And then Jay-Z didn't even stop there. He said things like, some of the people that are nominated for, Grammys should not belong in a category. And then he's just like, I'm sorry, but when I'm nervous, I tell the truth. I was like, God damn, this man did not come to a play. I feel like it was pre-planned. He's like, y'all gonna give me an award? I'm gonna talk my shit today. I'm gonna talk my mind today. And that's exactly what he did. But that wasn't just the highlight of his speech. Like, he also talked about like, he also gave like props to Dr. Dre, for breaking boundaries, open up doors in the music sphere. He also talked about like Snoop Dogg's contributions as well. So he sort of gave Caesar what is due to Caesar. Like, there were some positive aspects of it. And then he also talked about like, Blue Ivy having gotten a Grammy as well. And then I seen online like some people were criticizing like, Jay-Z is saying that some people don't belong in the category, but they didn't feel like Blue Ivy sort of, deserved a Grammy. But then she was also on her mom's song. Like it wasn't her per se that got a Grammy for like a song by herself. She wasn't a song that, her mom a song, you know what I mean? So, that's up for debate. Everyone's entitled to their particular opinion. But, Jay-Z was just, did not come out to play. He was going to speak his mind. Do I feel like, he won't be invited back to the Grammy? I don't think so. I think they will invite him. He is a man of stature. He is, he has a lot of money. He has a lot of footing in the industry. I don't feel like they could backball him at this point. Maybe when he was just like an early like rapper early in his career, he probably couldn't have said something like this. And I'm happy that an executive, in his type of position stood up and talked about this, because a lot of people are thinking the same thing, but they don't want to say anything because they're scared of, people blackballing them, or they're not gonna no longer have their footing in the industry. And we see time and time again like the things that Jay-Z is talking about. Nicki Minaj has talked about this time and time and time again of, the Grammys giving awards to people that, does not necessarily deserve it, or maybe is not talented. And obviously the whole idea of people being nominated for a Grammy is subjective. As I said, it's each person has a different perception on who they feel is talented as an artist. So if someone classifies, for instance, Ice Spice as talented, maybe someone else may not see her as talented. So I feel like the Grammy is sort of, it's a bunch of people that are, or a small group of people that are nominating. And maybe at times what could be, talent for them could not be talent for someone else, because it is subjective, right? But I was like, God damn, like I felt like, Jay-Z, shut the house down. It really made me, enjoy the Grammys in that sense. At first I wasn't gonna watch it because I was like, oh, like I didn't like the way that they did Nicki Minaj. I felt like, maybe they gave her the award and I felt like they took it back last minute based on her being outspoken, because I don't see how they could make such a huge mistake like that. But I don't know. Like, and then one thing I really liked about his speech is he said that, even when you don't get the accolades you feel you deserve, even if, they don't give you, the award that you deserve, you got to keep showing up. You got to, keep coming, until they call you the greatest, until they call you a genius. But it's like, I feel like maybe he was kind of talking a little bit of, how, because Nicki Minaj never comes, right? He could be talking about her and many other people. And also, I don't think his wife looked like she really wanted to be there either. But I feel like I didn't agree with that aspect of his speech. Like, why should I keep showing up to something where I don't feel respected? You know what I'm saying? So I don't agree with that. Like, if they're going to keep playing in your face, they're not going to give you the awards that you deserve. Why should you keep going? And then at the other thing that I wanted to bring forth is like, why don't, instead of, a lot of these artists wanting to get a Grammy and putting so much emphasis on a Grammy and giving a Grammy like huge significance, I think they should bear in mind like, how they have contributed to, the music industry, their sales, how they're able to, conjure up like fans over the years and build their fan base, and people that are coming to their tours and their concerts. I feel like more emphasis should be placed on that. And why don't they have like, a Grammys for people of color? That's what I think should happen, instead of, begging and wanting to be acknowledged by these Grammys that are probably, like they're not going to really get, or not going to be treated fairly. Why don't they just open up their own Grammys? That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, Jay-Z came to shut down the house. It was super funny when he said some of the people don't belong in the category. And you could see Beyonce murmured like, "Oh my God!" Like she looked like she murmured, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "Lord God, he's gonna get it tonight when he gets home." But then I seen in the end she clapped, and I don't know if this was all an act, but I feel like she may not have been fully happy with what he did, but in the end she was like, someone was supposed to talk this shit, and I'm glad it was my husband. So I don't think she's going to be extremely upset with him in regards to what he said. But yeah, Jay-Z did not come to play, and Jay-Z is extremely funny. Like I really got to see his personality full fledged on that stage. He even said things like, a lot of the times when they did not get, the Grammy or was not nominated, like he gave example of DMX, and he said that he boycotted, the Grammys, but then secretly watched from his hotel. I was like, this man is so funny. But I don't know. That's my opinion. I felt like, he should have came out and called out the Grammys. Like I felt like it was a long time coming, and Nicki Minaj can't just be the bad guy. Like at the end of the day. But let me know in the comment section below what was your perception of Jay-Z's speech. Do you agree with some of the things he said? Did you disagree? Just let me know your feedback. But that's my take for today for All Kinds of Advice podcast, and I'll catch y'all on the next episode. Take care. Ciao.